Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm. And today we carry on our TCG series. And if you guys remember what we did in the last episode is that we have now these amazing cards. So we created something from nothing, like we had a horrible UI. We added this really cool UI here. So today I would like to create the rest of the cards, the structure, and how we're pretending to use these and things like that. So I have created here a little icon using ChatGPT. I already separate them for us. So we're going to be exporting this. We already have the fire, so we don't need to care about this. But we're going to have the arcane one, the frostbite, which for some reason ChatGPT put frostbind, but that's fine. And then we have the, the sword and, really cool things here that we're going to do. So without wasting too much time, the first thing I would like to do here is that on Unreal Engine. Also, you're going to notice that we have a TCG card list. And I basically asked ChatGPT to create like 3 cards of each for us. So we now have a Fireball, which I'm just going to call Fireball, Arcane Echo, Frostbind, which I would like to call Frostbite, but it doesn't matter. Blade Rush, so we have all this. So let's just create our widget. Let's do our widget. I'm going to close it. Now, I am going to go back here to Unreal. I'm going to go back to where is the card. And we have the S3W widget. I'm going to create here a new folder called variable. I always do this, so it's going to edit that. Now, let's right-click here. So let's go back to, what is it? Here. And let's create a structure called SD-card. This is going to be the card structure that we're going to be using to build our game. So if I get the design, let's just have a look on the original design. So the very obvious thing here that I see is 2 things: name, description, and type. So let's get here. Let's add 3. So this is going to be name. This is going to be description, and type. Name is going to be name. Description is going to be a string, I guess, or maybe a text. We have a text. Yes. Type, it's going to be, I'm going to enum, because we need to create a type. I don't have that yet. I'm going to right click. And I am going to go and select here a blueprint, enumeration E-type. Open up here. Now we're going to have 3 types. So we're going to have, let's say, attack. We're going to have a magic type, right? Magic. And then we're going to have here another one that we're going to be called, let's say, defense. Save. Now right click, and I am going to create here a structure. And this time we're going to create, well, I'm not going to create a structure right now. Let's just add the type first. So here we're going to search for the E-type. What is this card type? What does it do? What are we trying to do? Like simple things. Now let's go back to the design. What more else do we have? So we have this number, we have that number, and we have this number. I am not sure what they mean, but basically we can try to come up with a solution here. So this one is how much the card cost. So let's just basically create another one called card cost. How much it costs us to run the card. It's going to be an integer, right? Integer value, very simple, nothing too crazy. Now here, guys, here basically, we have a couple of options here. So if it's green, it means that you are gaining defense or health, whatever. If it's this color, it means you are attacking. It means it deals X amount of damage. And the blue one I am not sure if I need it, but basically I would like to make the blue, let's say this color here. So the blue means that you're gonna get like a extra attack, or you gain mana. I don't know. I haven't figured out that part yet, because I would like to probably change this style, which is something that actually, oh, I end up making a little bit of a mistake. Let's see if I can do a couple of Control Z's here. There we go. So what I would like to do here, I'm just gonna edit. I'm gonna ungroup this. By the way, you don't have to do this, because probably you're already watching the version where I fixed this already. So I'm just gonna put this green, blue, because what I would like to do, well, actually no, I'll leave it the way it is. I'm gonna be a little bit lazy, so I'm just gonna make it so blue means that you gain like mana, you know, like something like this. I haven't decided yet. That's the biggest part of the game. Anyway, but the problem is that we have one for left and one for right, and they have their types: attack, damage, mana, whatever. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create a new option here, a new structure. Where is the blueprint? And I think I'm just gonna remember, how do we call this? We call card requirements left and right. All right, so we can come in here on the blueprint. What is it here? And we can call this ST card requirements, right? Card requirements, and let's open. And basically, it's gonna be is positive action. We're gonna have here the type, and remember the type comes from the e-type, so that we already sorted, and we're gonna have here the amount, right? And it's gonna be integer. I don't want to use float, because I just want to use whole values. It's easier to manage. Now that we have the SD card requirements, we're gonna go back to the SD, right? So we're gonna call this card requirements, requirement left, and this is gonna be a SD card requirement, and we're gonna have another one, which is gonna be card requirements right. Nice, awesome. One main important thing that I missed is the icon. So icon, what is the icon of this card? It's going to be a texture 2D, texture 2D, and an object reference. I'm just going to put the icons first. And let's see if we can actually do things with it. So we have now name, type, deals. We have this on right and left, and we have that, and everything seems to be working actually pretty well. All right. Now that we have the base of this, I would like to improve our card requirements, because right now our card requirements only have one color. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. I can't even set up the type here, right? Let's open up here the widget, and let's start to improve this. So first of all, so this is going to be the icon, and is a variable. Yes. Now the requirement is going to be the amount, and this is going to be, it's a variable again. Now look how cool it is. We can go back to the graph, and we can add here a new variable called the requirement, and here it's going to be the SD card requirement. Open up, compile and save. Make sure to expose this guy and spawn. Nice. Now when we started, we can get this and we can break it, and we can do a couple of things. So the first one I would like to do here is that for the requirement of this card, the icon, I just want to set texture, right? Here's going to ask me what is the icon that I want to choose. I want to do a select, and I want to do a select based on an enum. Now, what I would like to do here is that attack, it's red. Magic, it's mana, you know, like, and defense is the shield. And the last thing is that we need to create here now, we need to select what's the text that we're passing, the amount. We can set text. By the way, set text. There is set text. By default, this thing's gonna be 0. Okay. So we're gonna compile and save that. And the reason why it's gonna be 0 is because if it's 0, then nothing happened. It's just a default, nothing happened. Now, we're gonna basically do, if the amount is greater than 0, we create a branch. Then we can actually set up the text. If it's less than that, we do not care. We don't do anything with it. Now, the next thing that we would like to do is that we want to create a literal string, and we're going to append the value. And the reason why I'm doing this, I will explain in a sec. So we're going to plug this one here. And now here's the thing. Positive action. So first of all, we add the amount here. That's fine. But if it's a positive or a negative, we need to tell the user, right? So we can do a select string. And if it's a positive action, it means that we're adding. Otherwise, it means we're removing. And that's it. Compile and save. And we got the value right there. And you know, like, what we can actually do here, like we do on the event construct, we could do maybe on the event. You know what we can do here, I think, is that maybe this will be even better, is that we're going to create here a custom event API set requirement. All right. And we plug it right there. And that's it. Now, what we do here is that we do on the event pre-construct, and we can compile and save. Now, if I go back to the card, I can just come back to this and, you know, change that to magic or defense, you see? And I can maybe check this and add, like, let's say 2, and it's positive action, you know, like very simple things. And as you can see, we get a massive thing already done for us. So it's a counter, it indicates everything. Everything's perfect. Everything looks cool. Nice. So we got here a basic of the card. Now let's go back here and try now to create the rest of the cards, right? So we created here our SD card structure. And now we probably ask, but how do we add this to a list? How do we use this on our game? So the way I'm going to structure this is that we're going to have to create some menus where you have the in-game battle and outside battle. If you're outside battle, you can manage your deck. And if you're in-game, you always get random cards based on the deck you created. So it's like Hearthstone, but we have to create the cards first. So let's do the cards. Cards is very fun. It's a fun thing to build. We're going to go back here to the miscellaneous, and we're gonna search for data table, and we're gonna call the card, because it's gonna be based on the card, and we're gonna create here DT cards, right? Open up, and here we have. Now, before I carry on, I'm just gonna go back here. I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna export all those icons, and then we can use them. See you in a sec. Alright guys, so I just created all the icons. As you can see here, we have now the sword, the shield, and everything. So I think they don't have necessary, I think they have a decent quality, but I can always scale up, so it doesn't matter for now. I'm gonna go back here to my cards on Unreal, and I'm just gonna open up here where we have this fireball. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna bring all those icons into the game. The fireball already have it, so I don't mind it. I'm gonna export there, Now, let's see, for example, the hammer looks good. Look, it looks a little bit off the quality, but it's fine. I'm not gonna rebuild that. Feel free to re-export it, but this is gonna be a placeholder as well, because I bet you guys already have better icons than I do, so let's not worry about this. Let's just leave it the way it is. All right. Okay, nice. Now, let's go back here to the T cards. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to create a card, right? Now, I'm just going to open up the ChatGPT text. I created this with ChatGPT. I asked him to create like a couple of cards for us. So I am just going to, can I maybe put the engine here and leave this one here? Yes, I can. Nice. Now let's go back here. But then it falls apart. I'm just going to drag this to another window so we can see what we're doing. So the first one here, it's going to be Fireball, right? So I'm just going to rename here to Fireball. Now the icon is going to be Fireball. Name is going to be Fireball. And then the description, it's going to be deal 3 to the enemy, whatever. Now what we have here is the type of magic. Card cost, it's going to be, I don't know, I'm going to put 2. Or maybe, yeah, 2 is fine. This is where you have to balance things off. So the attack is 3 and everything else. So we're going to put magic. It doesn't do anything with magic. So it's 0. All right. Now let's duplicate that and let's call the arcane. I'm just going to call this arcane. There is a way, if I'm not mistaken, within Unreal that you can export your CSV, this table, and re-import it again. So you could, in theory, tell AI to build that for you, but I'm not entirely sure. So this one is say repeat the last magic. I mean, we can actually do that. So we're gonna put 3, because my idea is that I want to make sure that we do have the ability to create, you know, different scenarios here. So like we can use the task to build it for us. So this is going to be Frostbind, which is fine, I guess. We're going to call it Frostbind. That's fine. Then we're going to call it Frost or Frost icon. Freeze your enemy for 1 turn, which is fine. So basically, you are, the next turn is yours. It's going to be, let's say, 4, right? 4. Now 0, 0, 0, everything's 0. Great. Now I'm going to duplicate that. Now let's call here the Blade Rush. What I'm going to do, guys, I am going to basically just carry on with this. And once I have everything ready, I'll resume the video. Otherwise, it's a little bit boring. I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright, guys. So I added here. Let me just show you all the items based on this. Make sure that you pause your video and go one by one, and make sure you remember to is a positive action, which means is that it's doing damage. All right. If it's false, it will means that you're receiving damage. Right. Now I have the staff, which is good. The last thing I want to do here is that we need to find a way. I'm going to close everything to load that information here, right? Which is good. Now, I'm going to open up here our main widget, I guess. Sorry, main widget. WBP card, right? And we're going to open up this. Now, we do have now a couple of problems that we have to figure out. And first of all, this is only adding as part of, let's say, the graph, right? We don't know. This needs to be added to also the player controller. All the logic needs to be handled on the player controller. We took a different approach this time. We started first with a widget rather than the structure. So we need to do this walk back. But before we do this, I want to make sure that we start, that we have the ability to add the right card. All right. So the ability to add the right card is started on the add new player card. This will come from the controller, and the controller will pass us the information that we want. So to do this, I'm going to add a new input, and we are going to search for the card. So what is the card that we want to do? So it's going to be SD card. All right. Now the SD card needs to be passed to the add new card. So add new card also expects a card, right? So I'm just going to delete here. This needs to be input, and we're going to call card. All right. Now, if I refresh the widget, I don't have anything. So let's just open up here the card, and let's make sure that the card widget knows how to do with the card variable. So let's go back here to the variables, and we're going to call this card info just to make more easier. And we're going to call card. All right. Or SD card in this case. SD card. Make sure it's public, and you expose that on spawn, which is good. Now, let's do one more thing. So first of all, we're going to refresh these nodes. We plug the card right there. Make sure it's still working. You know, everything should still work. Now we need to be able to specify the card and all that stuff. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to do this, I guess, on... we're going to create here a custom event called API load card style, right? Or you can just call load card. Now we're going to break this, and we have all the information that we can start. So the first thing we want to do is we want to load the card cost, right? And we're going to go back, get a card cost, and we're going to do set text, and the text, it's going to be the card cost, right? And boom, one issue solved. Now the next one, we need to load the card name. So card name, we plug it here, come back, and I really enjoy doing this stuff. I think it's the hardest part with any game is the structure in the beginning. If you make the right structure in the beginning, then it makes it so easy to work that it's very enjoyable. But I had projects in the past where I had so many issues trying to create a nice game. So what I learned from all those years building games and trying to as well is the structure in the beginning is the best part. If you structure right, you know, you don't have to rebuild the game. And also, one thing I really recommend to you guys is that on your projects, try not to rebuild all the time. Rebuilding is good. Rebuilding is fun because you understand the concept, but also try to work with what you have. Try to work with the problems you solved already, right? Description. So it's gonna go card description. As you can see here, all I'm doing is just getting now card description, set the texture, text, yes, set text, and I'm putting here the description there. Now the type here is a little bit funny because the type changed color. Let's just do this. So we're gonna do card type, right? It's a variable. Come back. We're gonna set here set the text, and also we're gonna set the color and opacity. Now I do not have the color, but I can actually make something up. First of all, let's get this enum to string. All right, enum to string is gonna be the type name. Now here we're gonna do a little select, and I would like to split this into a different node and plug it right there. Now, if it's attack, we are gonna, you know, make a slate column. So we can copy this. We can copy that. So we plug this there and plug this one here. Right. Now let's go back to the good node Inkscape. And I'm just gonna use the colors that I have here, which is basically Where's the colors, layers and colors? Oh, there you go. So, by the way, if you want to take time to pause the video, feel free to do it to check what colors am I doing here. Also, you don't have to use those colors, by the way. This is just so I have something to work for. And now the last one is this. I don't like that color, to be honest. This blue one is quite, I don't know. No, not great, but we can leave it the way it is. Nice. We got a color. What's the next one? The column, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, this is the fun part, which is to set up the card's requirement. So the positives, the defense, magic. You see the defense? Oh, yeah, magic. Let's edit this. There's something wrong with this. I think I am using... Yes, I'm using the wrong... Yeah, I'm using the wrong thing. I don't know why. But anyway, magic is the mana. We call mana. And then... Oh, I don't have the shield. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, that's fine. I just need to... this is going to be called defense instead of shield. I'm just going to go back inside icons, t-defense. All right. I completely forgot that we had the right name. Sorry, the wrong name. Put in here. Then we get the defense and plug it right there. Compile and save. Nice. Card requirements. Cool. Now what happened here on the card? We're going to get now the requirements right and left. By the way, they need to be a variable, otherwise you won't be able to edit them, unfortunately. Okay, now what we're going to do here is that we get this information and we're going to call the API, set requirements, and we're going to break this. And this can be just, past the left. And then after we call the API set requirements. I could have done as part of the API set, but anyway, for now, it's fine. The card, it's pretty much looking quite good. Now we're going to call here set requirement. Plug it right down. And we're going to plug this one right here. And we're going to call this the API set requirement. Look at that. Quite cool. Now, of course, this is not working yet because we have to tell to work. So now on the main TCG, when you load a card, you just call the API load card style. That's all we have to do here. The reason why I like to call this here, it's because I like to control when the data is loaded. Now, we don't have information. Everything's zero set up. We don't have anything. We have to load that information from somewhere. Okay. Now, I do not have that part of my controller that yet, which it's a little bit of, it's not great. But what we can do here is that we can basically, we can do like a get role names here. So the table, get role. Yes, get table role. So it's going to be that structure. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is because I don't have a way to proper add this, I'm just going to do it like that. So I'm going to add a variable. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to add here now arcane. And then I'm going to add here, let's say, frost blade, and then I'm gonna add another one, which is gonna be, let's say, crushing ball. Like just random things. What I can do here probably is that I guess I'm gonna try to do something. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we can do a select. I mean, Can I do a random? Yes. I think what we can do now is get role names. I think that would actually work. You know, so just adding random. And if you did everything right, this should conclude us the video. Look at that. So we had a crushing attack. We had a defense, iron wall, fireball, magic. I must say it's a little bit hard to read. It's quite hard to read actually. Let's just go back to the card. And let's just try maybe to add a brighter color. I think a brighter color would be very beneficial to us here. It's very, I don't know. I don't like it how hard it is to read this. Let's see. Look at that. So look how cool is this. We added all the cards. And now I keep clicking. Defense, attack, defense, magic. And it keeps adding new cards all the time. Like it's just random cards. It keeps cycling through the system. Now, of course, we have a UI problem because I don't know what the hell is going on here, right? I don't know what's that card. Maybe what I can do here, just for us for try now, so you guys can get a little bit of a, you know, a nice feeling of all this. We have here, when we organize the card, we have the offset. What if I set the offset to like, I don't know, maybe 50? Wouldn't be that bad. Let's see. You see, it looks quite bad actually. No, not too bad. It looks better. Look at that, guys. We have a trading card game. Of course, it doesn't do anything. It's missing a lot of stuff to build. But right now, we have a very cool thing. One thing I noticed is that the size of this doesn't look great. Let's see if I can actually maybe... It's fine. For the tutorial, it's great. But we have this scale problem, right? Maybe, is that size to content? Nope. Size to content will actually... It's a little bit of overkill. Let's try this. Will that work? Will that look better? Looks a little bit better. Maybe what we can do here is that the problem is that I think these cards are quite small, right? Maybe what we can try to do here, let's do 300 by 400. Let's just try, maybe let's try this crazy value. Let's see if that works. Because I'm really struggling to read what's going on the cards. Okay, now it looks a little bit better. It looks better. Now, of course, that the card, we need to change here the card size. By the way, in the next video, I would like to make all these things dynamic. I'm really tired of like trying to do this manually, right? That looks better. So we have here 400, so it's the height of the card. Bottom margin, maybe you can add like a maybe 100. I don't know. Let's see. How does it look? It looks a little bit bad. So let's maybe add 150. Right? Okay. Let's add 200 then. Let's see. Okay. That's too tight. 250. All right. All right. Looks better. Now, let's go back to the card. Let's just do the whole boring part, which is, you know, make sure the tags are bigger, all that kind of stuff, as you guys already know, you know. This, we're gonna organize it so it's centered there. The icon, that's fine. This magic, we can leave it right here. Also, we can increase the size a little bit because it doesn't matter for us. Now, the description of the task itself can be a little bit bigger, right? And I'm not sure if this is too much. I guess it will depends of like people's screens. I'm not sure how, because the fun thing of the game as well is to see the cards, right? Like the cards, they, as long as they're visible, are quite cool to see. Let's add a little bit of spacing here, right? From this part, I would like to add some space. Compile and save. Let's see. Deals 4 of the damage, but skip next attack. So add the same. 3 of damage to a single enemy. Not bad, actually. Not bad. Cards that look a little bit more readable. You know, I do still struggle with this huge, like, you know, this. For example, now if you go open up here the DT, let's say the DT card games, maybe what I can try to do, for example, this one is quite big as a text. So reduce all incoming by 1. And then what we can do here, then we can do a space or enter. Does the enter work? It doesn't allow me to add a multi-text. So what we can do here, maybe you can try to change description to something else. But honestly, for now, I will just leave it right here, right? We look at this later on. Maybe what we can try to do here as well is maybe try to, I don't know, like, I think that's fine. It's just a justification, maybe. I need to do more research here, guys. But basically, we have what we wanted. We have a magic defense. We have crushing blow. We have the iron wall. We have the attack, the blade rush, the arcane echo. You know, it keeps adding new things all the time, which is really, really cool to see this being added to the game. And I think that's everything, guys. That's everything I would like to show you here. I think we got a very good part of the system. The next thing that I would like to implement it is the ability to hover the card, and then the card is slide in, and it shows his information, and it slides back. So you can see clearly what cards you have. And then, of course, the next thing we got to do is to find a way to drag and drop, and then it will do damage to our enemy, which we still have to program. But I am very happy with this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this series, let me know. If you like more things related to UI, I'm always happy to do it as well. And I see you guys in the next one.